usually speak without a script, but I have some points I want to be sure I make tonight. This will be available on my website later tonight if you'd like to read it. I appreciate the opportunity to speak here tonight more than you know, this opportunity to speak to the family in Texas A&M. My very first memory as a child, the first thing I can remember as a 3-year-old was my dad, class of 43, graduating in 42 to go to the Pacific, bringing me to the bonfire. Now, I'm not going to get into should we have a bonfire, not a national issue, but let me tell you what I learned about the bonfire that nobody talks about. The bonfire was not about the fire. It was about building the bonfire. It was about sacrifice and service and young people learning how to dedicate themselves to something bigger than themselves, learning lessons that then they carried on to government and family and industry and home later in life. That's a lesson that I learned as a child. I learned it from my dad in 20 years of Maroon and White, 18 years of Maroon and White, and then as a senior in high school on the same day I received an invitation to either attend Texas A&M or West Point. And I chose West Point, but I was able to stay in touch with A&M for more than 30 years through the many Aggies that I worked with on active duty until 31 years later I was able to attend Reed Arena and watch my oldest boy walk across the stage to be a Texas Aggie class of 97. And 9 years later for him to walk across again as a graduate of the Bush School. These values that are learned at Texas A&M mean a great deal to me. I have 6 nieces and nephews who are Aggie graduates. One is a pharmacist here in town, one's a graduate school in Ag, one is a Navy pilot, one's a Navy pilot's wife, one is an Army pilot, one is an Army pilot's wife. I think the values and the lessons, the work ethic at Texas A&M, one of our missions needs to be take these values and spread them across the rest of the nation. That's one of the things that I hope that I'd be able to do here. I want to tell you a little bit, if you want to look at issues, go to my website. I want you to know a little bit about me. And the fact that I spent 30 years working issues in the military, 15 of them on strategic issues. I was the Dean of Faculty at the National War College, began working Homeland Security issues, and that's where I was in 2001 on 9/11. I was the Deputy Director of a think tank focused on Homeland Security when I watched the second plane hit the South Tower. I picked up the phone and called my boss and said, "Randy, it's bin Laden, and he's coming to D.C. next." And 41 minutes later, the airplane hit the Pentagon a half a mile from our office. We had a blur for 2 years of presentations. We were the only organization in the United States that had already written and was on record about Homeland Security. So we briefed all of the major media. We briefed Congress. We briefed staffers. We briefed all the new members of the Department of Defense that entered their jobs. We briefed all of the new people entering the Department of Homeland Security. We began university programs. And in 2003, when my dad fell ill and I returned home, I brought that here and offered it to the Bush School. They picked it up and it became a certificate program with more than a dozen courses, more than 24 faculty members, and we have spoken to hundreds of students on Homeland Security issues. I was selected to direct the Integrative Center for Homeland Security here. And for 5 years, we were able to build a national level program on all issues ranging from zoology to agriculture and architecture. Everything that deals with the issues that the nation faces today. Hard to give that up, but we have problems today in our nation. And I feel like I have something to contribute to them. Specifically, let me tell you, we have problems overseas. In Korea, in Pakistan, in Afghanistan, in Iraq, in Iran, in Venezuela, in Mexico. This has been my meat and potatoes for 22 years. We have challenges internally, economics, jobs, education, border security. These are issues I've been working for the last 10 years. And so I believe I have something I can bring to you to bear on our challenges. And the biggest challenge we face is one that requires somebody who speaks and thinks well. The challenge of the debt, our national debt. This thing is so huge, it will eclipse all of our other challenges. The last point we're going to have to address is ideology, because we are facing in America today a foreign ideology, something that came out of the French Revolution. An argument that says if you have anything, you got it unfairly. And if other people don't, you're holding them down unfairly. And the job of the government is to take from you and give to them. That is an ideology that we have to oppose. And it takes somebody who understands ideologies, can think and write and speak about them. We have to oppose that ideology if we're going to solve the debt. That debt, the director of the Federal Reserve in Dallas 4 weeks ago said, can be as much as starting at 60, maybe $90 trillion. You get that figure? $90 trillion. That's 90,000 billion. 90,000 billion. How does a nation solve a debt that big? It can't. Our politicians have written checks they can't cash. Somebody's going to be sorely disappointed. Who? I think the people that should be disappointed are the people who have been irresponsible. I think that responsible citizens, whatever their station in life, that we should make good the promises we've made to them. And irresponsible citizens, those who have been irresponsible with their families and their bodies and with the law and with their educational opportunities, those people should suffer the price of irresponsibility, not to punish them, but so they can learn to be productive. That's how the only way to get out of this debt is to make all people productive. Now, who can do this for you? Those who can't fix this for you, professional politicians, they got us here. Their whole reason for existence is to shovel money to you, to satisfy people. That they cannot fix the problems they've spent 20, 30 years in office instituting. Who else cannot fix it? Well-intended, intelligent, honest amateurs. People who are going to have to spend the first 2 or 3 or 4 years in office learning the issues that I've been working with for 20 years. Who can fix this? Somebody who has a unique background, who both understands these issues of diplomacy, of strategy, of economics, of military power, police power within the United States, border security issues, the necessity for us to create jobs and use education to do that, and understands that from inside Washington, D.C., but without being a Washington, D.C. insider, and without being attached to big business or big government. That's who you've got to have. Now, I must tell you, I think I'm that guy. That's why I'm running. As they say at the midnight yell practice, it ain't bragging if you can do it. And I've been doing it for 20 years. So I guess my final message to you is we've got serious problems that we need to address here. And my promise to you is simple. I will be responsive to you. I will be respectful to you. I will be results-focused. I will be action-oriented. And I especially will be a stickler for oversight. It is not the job of Congress just to shovel money. They're supposed to govern. They're supposed to track where the money goes and find out why it's not being used properly. I guarantee you I will do that. Lastly, I just want to talk to you here tonight about my vision, not about specific issues, because I want you to walk out of here understanding who I am and what I stand for, and in particular, what I won't stand for as your congressional representative. Serious times require serious issues. Serious times and serious issues require experienced leadership with the right qualifications. The question is, who can you send? And the answer is, here am I, send me. Thank you.